bride and welcome to my Salon Nail Shapes workshop. In this workshop we're going to be going over the basics of the nail shapes that you are going to see day in, day out for your clients in the salon. I really hope you guys enjoy it, so let's get started. To my Salon Viable Shapes workshop. So in the salon we have general shapes that everybody tends to have. So I have sculpted my nails out with acrylic, but obviously this can apply to natural nails as well. So we have got 5 salon viable shapes here. We have got rounded, square, oval, ballerina, or some people refer to this as coffin, and we have also got stiletto. So the way you need to decide, first of all, what shape suits your client's hand. Now, I've got quite short, fat, stubby fingers. I wasn't blessed with beautiful piano fingers, unfortunately. So there are some shapes like square that just do not suit me because it doesn't help to elongate the finger or the hand, whereas the ballerina or coffin does. So I've got that nice elongated shape but without that square or rounded or stiletto edge to it. So it's nice and square on that edge, but it elongates my finger. So you can see if I take those away how this finger looks much more elongated and more slender than this finger does, and that's because the nail shape is complementing my fingers. So the way I'm going to use my thumb for this because it is easier, the way you need to shape up the nail is to draw with your mind's eye an imaginary line down the middle of the nail. So that comes right from the finger right the way down the middle of the nail, and I do that for all of them. So coming from this knuckle here all the way down, and then in my mind's eye I'm drawing that straight line. Okay, so for any shape this is the way that you get that really nice even shape to the nail. So each one is lined up to the center of the finger. So you can probably see here this finger isn't quite straight, it does go off. So don't do it to the hand, you need to do it to the finger so that when it's on its own that nail is nice and straight. So with a rounded nail, because I've sculpted these, I always sculpt to the shape that I want. Okay, so don't sculpt to one shape and then try and get shape in with your nail, otherwise you will lose this sidewall edge here. So the last thing you want is to take this sidewall edge up like so, because you lose that curvature to the nail. Okay, so with all of your sidewalls, if I show you with my file, they all need to come out nice and straight. Okay, so you can see there it's nice and straight on my file, and then work that shape up to that central point. So if I was to take that in too far, you could see, and then just round that off there, you would lose this shape here. So when you're looking from the top of the nail, it needs to have that shape all the way around that top free edge, but also from the side as well. So if we were to take that up too high, it would look more like a stiletto. So don't take it too low down on this side wall here. So you can see that goes for the same with our square. It's nice and straight to my natural side wall, and also with my oval, it's nice and straight to that side wall. With my ballerina, again, it's nice and straight to the side wall, and also with the stiletto, we've got that nice straight edge there. And you also need to look at your edges from the top. So again, from that apex, obviously the longer the nail is, the higher the apex needs to be. It's nice and straight from that apex all the way to that free edge. The same for the ballerina. Same for the oval, same for the square, and same for the rounded. So you need to look at your edges on your side walls and also that top line as well. Now, when you come to do your rounded, you need, I'm just going to turn my hand around, you need to always work to that central point, and then you will always get a nice even shape on both sides. Same for the square, it's obviously just straight across, so you need to make sure with your file it's nice and straight and sharp. You don't want to be coming in like this and getting that wonky edge in there. Using your file, you need to make sure that you straighten that up. It's nice and straight and you've got the even sides on both sides of that central point. Okay, same for the oval. So with that, it's slightly more tapered. Again, making sure that you don't take it in too far from this side wall. You want to have that straight edge there, and again taking it up to that central point and then rounding it off. Same for the ballerina, so I've got a nice C curve in there, you can see. Okay, and again bringing it up, making sure that it's nice and straight, so using your file to get that straight edge in there, and then making sure that you've got that nice straight edge like we would with our square on that free edge. Don't take it in too far this way, don't take it in too far that way, and both sides of that central point are nice and even. And then with your stiletto, again coming from that side wall, making sure it's nice and straight, and don't take off that tip. You want that point on the end there. Now this is slightly more rounded because it is more salon viable, but if we were doing this for a competition or for photographic work, we would take that point in and make it really, really sharp. And again, either side of that central line, you need to have it nice and even. So from the top, with a stiletto, it's that really lovely triangle shape, but you have that tapered edge, so it's like a barrel coming over, so it's nice and rounded. What a lot of people tend to do is take this in too far. You lose that C curve, and then when you look at it from the top, it's cut short. You don't want to do that. You want to keep those side walls and that structure in there, because that's what's going to give you strength to this long stiletto nail. And obviously working on structure, you need to also have that apex in there. With a ballerina or a coffin, we have got that straight edge in there, but what some clients like to do is to round off these edges ever so slightly. So we don't want to make it into an oval. We want to keep that slender, sharp line of our ballerina. So what I would do is come up underneath and just file out those corners, so you can see I've just softened that edge there, and then you can ever so slightly, really lightly, just go around your corners, so then we have a rounded ballerina shape. And you can see I hardly put any pressure on my file there, so we've still got that really nice straight edge and the nice ballerina coffin shape to the top of our nail, so looking down onto the nail, but then you've got that slightly rounded corner in there so that it's more salon viable for your clients. They're not as sharp. We don't need to worry about that with our oval because we've obviously still got that natural oval shape there, but again with an oval you want to keep those edges nice and straight, and then it's literally just a slightly more exaggerated, so you'd be taking that off of your coffin shape. And obviously you can go nice and short with this or longer. With our square, exactly the same thing. So we've got our straight edges, and then if the client wanted to take those edges off and make it more of a squoval, I would go underneath just to get rid of that sharp point there, and then very lightly, we don't want to lose that square shape, just very, very lightly take off that corner and then you've got that nice rounded edge to that corner, but you've still got those lovely straight lines of our square. And then for the rounded, obviously you can take this down as low as you want to. This is the most natural shape, so if you've got a client with natural nails and not acrylics on, then we're coming from lower down, so unlike the oval, and bringing that pretty much from where the sidewall ends, and then bringing it up and round and creating that rounded shape so it's nice and even. But again, you don't want to lose that side wall, and from the top it's nice and rounded, and then we've got our other shapes in there. So they are the most salon viable shapes that we do pretty much day in, day out. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the whole hand. Pretty much day in, day out. I would say the most popular at the moment is your ballerina shape. Now with your ballerina and obviously your stiletto, you do need to have that length on there, because if we were to take that down, it would just be a tapered square. So with a tapered square, you've got that slightly tapered shape on your side wall, but it would be that little bit shorter. Okay, so we could take that down to there, but to get that true ballerina shape and that really nice elongation on there, you do need to have that little bit of length, rather than with your square you can go really nice and short with that. With regard to longevity of nails, your rounded is going to be the most salon viable for clients. So if you've got a client that has, I don't know, that does cleaning, or mum, you're going to have more longevity in the nail with a rounded shape. Now the reason for that is because you haven't got the corners on there. 9 times out of 10, if someone has a square and they're going to catch their nail, they're going to catch the corner, and these are going to round off naturally anyway. So if you've got someone that works in an office and does a lot of typing, so like a teacher for example, I would always recommend to go that little bit more rounded because of the longevity of the nail, because this is going to round off on its own just with general wear and tear, and this is going to be much more salon viable for them and the longevity of their nails. And then once they've got used to having this nail shape and used to having that little bit of length, obviously the nails will grow up during the infill appointment to about here. So that's about 3 weeks worth of growth just here. So once they've got used to that length, and as that grows up this way, then if they wanted more of a square or more of a stiletto or a coffin or ballerina, then they can slowly get that shape into there, and then they're more used to it because they've got used to the length of the nail. So they are the 5 most popular salon viable shapes. So you've got your stiletto, your coffin or ballerina, your oval, your square or squoval with the corners knocked off, and then your rounded as well. So I have obviously sculpted these onto myself. Now if you want a more in-depth training with regard to sculpting and forms, because this can be quite difficult to get in just using a tip, then head on over to my website, because I have got a specific sculpting course that will teach you all of how to create these nail shapes from the get-go. So there you have it, salon viable nail shapes that you are going to be doing day in, day out on your clients. As always, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this little workshop, and I will see you all very, very soon. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure you click the subscribe button, and if you want to see any future videos, just click them below. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you all soon.